Mr. Swallow, name the following: all the clients for whom you have lobbied, when you were last compensated for any lobbying work, and any supplemental sources of income outside of your compensation from the Attorney General's office since you began working there. Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I think I've got it. You know, the answer is no to the first two. As a former member of the legislature, I have a lot of friends who are members of the legislature currently. And I decided that to go beyond what the law required and experience full disclosure and full transparency in everything that I did. So a few years ago when I was in private practice, I decided that I would go beyond what the law required and disclose anytime I met with someone, even socially, a member of the legislature. The spirit of full disclosure and transparency is something I think is missing a lot in the state. And I'm a fighter for that. So Sean, you should know better than to ask that kind of a question, because you know, if you look at the reports, that what you've alleged against me is not true. And if you just read the reports carefully, you'll see that when I had discussions with members of the legislature, I reported them, but there was never any kind of official legislative activity even discussed in those meetings. But in the spirit of full disclosure, I went beyond the law, and that's what I'll do. And you can criticize me for that all you want. And the law, by the way, allows someone to work and finish legal work when you become a member of the Attorney General's office for the first year and receive compensation for that, and also to work in other areas that are not law-related while you're in the Attorney General's office. So again, if you do your research and if you're a careful lawyer as you say you are, then you'd know the answers to questions before you even ask them, Sean.
John, you didn't even answer the question, though. That's the problem. And your indignation belies the fact that somebody's actually calling you out and asking you to be honest. So if you're going to ask me to be, I would like the same from you. Now, it's interesting because I think you give yourself too little credit for your lobbying career. Now, I remember being introduced to you just a few years ago by Richard Rahl, who was your former boss and CEO of Czech City, who was bragging about his super lobbyist. And that seems a little inconsistent with what you've just articulated. You can sound very good, John, but when the facts contradict what you're saying, again, that's what people need to hear. That's what they don't get to hear in a regular debate, and that's what they don't get to hear on the stump. And that's why that's the only reason we're bringing these things up. We're running for Attorney General, not Lobbyist General, not Legislator General. And when it comes to legal experience, John, that's all I've done, and I'm a better lawyer than you.